Why do you support Donald Trump?
Well, I'm glad I caught you and Dean when he joined the live. I just want to say I am extremely disappointed in you two for turning your back on the country. And I'm not saying that in a joking manner. Y'all are on the enemy side
Oh
of
God,
destroying the country.
you're
You
Okay.
really are. Do you know how there's a reason why I don't understand. I really truly don't understand
I
this.
can help you. Let me help you understand. Let me help you understand just how absolutely bad, insane it is to suggest that I'm on the enemy side that seeks to destroy this country just because I don't support a president because he wants state-controlled media and thinks that it's illegal to criticize him on live TV. I am not on the enemy side and destroying the country because I want to uphold the Constitution and think that a president should be impeached if they violate 5 amendments in 8 months, particularly the first, second, 14th, and 22nd, as Donald Trump has.
Okay, there's a reason why your side has at President Trump and Charlie Kirk.
Oh, but then you're never going to mention the 17-year-old alt-right Evergreen High School and one student because it doesn't fit your narrative. It
What
doesn't
was it?
matter that
What
our
was it?
government, even under the Trump administration, reports that political violence is higher from alt-right compared to the far left. You're going to disregard all data that doesn't fit your prescriptive narrative. And when you isolate for all political violence that is committed by individuals on the right, and you just look at political violence that is committed by those that are supposed to be on the left, sure, you will see a trend of left-leaning political violence, but if you don't isolate for data that you don't want to see, then the story changes.
Okay, when was the situation? I'm not aware of the situation you just mentioned.
Yeah, 2 hours after Charlie Kirk was shot. Of course you're not aware of it because it doesn't fit your agenda.
Yeah.
Well,
Also,
no,
what about the Hortmans? Do you remember what happened to the Hortmans? Who were they by?
were there the people up in Minnesota or
Yeah,
somewhere up
by
north?
MAGA. By MAGA.
Okay, was the person that killed them? I knew he was disguising himself as a cop. Wasn't he appointed by Tim Walz for some position?
I wasn't shown anything indicating that the person that them was appointed by Tim Walz.
It's
Okay,
political affiliation.
I read something on that. That's why I asked you.
You're saying Tim Walz would appoint someone who has MAGA ideology? What?
Well, I mean, I don't know if he knew that beforehand or not, but I read from two. So I can't give you the sources now because it's been so long ago. But I read something that the person that killed those two people were appointed by Tim Walz at the time.
Okay, I would love to see any source indicating that.
Okay, well I can't look it up because it'll mute me if I swipe out on my screen. But
We do know that they are
um,
MAGA in terms of their ideology, though. So, like that is one thing to address. Also, we can reference particularly Paul Pelosi, who is the hammer, right, for being a Democrat.
okay,
And then,
I'm
like,
not
we
aware
can
of
talk
that
about how
situation.
Republicans responded to that. There's so many other instances. Plus, the main overarching point that Dean made was that alt-right violence, political violence, and domestic is significantly more prevalent than left-wing domestic.
Okay, but with what we see, and I haven't seen the two instances that y'all two brought up. What we see with our own eyes from a moral standpoint, I'm not. I'm putting aside the data and everything. From what the country sees, and this is why you can deny this all you want to, either one of you two, but this is why Trump won in such a landslide in 2024. He won in 2016. I know you're going to say the 2020 election wasn't rigged or whatever, but
Do you think it
the,
was?
the, I do believe it was
Okay, what makes
because
you think that?
there is no way in he double hockey sticks that Joe Biden got the most votes in presidential history. There's no way
So you're just
he got
coping. So you're just coping. You can't
I'm not
acknowledge
gonna,
the reality that Joe
I'm
Biden got the
I'm
most
giving
votes
you
of any
that.
candidate in U.S. history. Not only that, but also we can point to the idea that in 2020, you're saying when Trump was in office, they could rig it, but in 2024, when Democrats were in office, they lost the ability to rig it.
So you're from California, right?
Yes.
Okay, I was literally thoroughly watching the votes coming in that night. I was watching it thoroughly, and the votes were still coming in like days after for Kamala Harris in California.
Kamala.
I was watching it. Whatever. I'll just call her
Kamala
Harris.
Kamala Harris was the candidate in 2024. So do you think the 2024 election was rigged?
They were trying to rig it 100%.
In 2024. So you think that they tried to rig it, but they failed?
They 100% yes.
Okay, how did they fail when they were in office,
That's
but they didn't
undeniable.
fail when Trump was in office?
Because it was too big to rig.
But there was less votes. I thought Biden got more votes.
Y'all can laugh all you want. I know. There
Wait,
was far less
I
votes.
thought
I
Biden
agree.
got all
I
these
agree
fake
with that.
votes, and he got more votes than anyone ever got before. Meaning Trump, even in this election, didn't get enough votes.
Okay.
Also, you're just saying too big to rig because that's what Trump said. That's
Okay.
not like.
I have a question for y'all.
Just give me,
Go ahead.
20 seconds.
Go
That's
ahead.
not a claim of substance at all. If we were to ask you to describe precisely why it was too big to rig, you'd be lost for goddamn words. The only reason that you say that is because Trump did.
Okay. Well, so I have one question that I have one statement afterwards. I want to say to both of you. The question is, the first question is, do y'all truly believe that not one single illegal immigrant voted in the 2024 election? Not one.
We have no evidence that undocumented immigrants voted. Would you like to provide me a source? Unless you're talking about someone who specifically happened to be undocumented and committed like identity theft or something, and that was proven, or nothing that would change the results of the election. Definitely.
I would say that it's more likely than not one undocumented immigrant committed identity fraud and voted.
Thank you. I'm glad you're able to admit that. I really am.
But what does that mean? Like, that doesn't inform us about anything.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
no
so-
effect
so
on the overall election.
Yeah, like I'm also
well, no,
sure-
it actually does. It actually does.
It's also more likely than not that like one 17-year-old committed identity fraud and voted.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, of course that's possible. Of course it is. But y'all don't see the reason why the Biden-Harris administration, I call it the Autopin administration, poured in millions and millions of illegal immigrants into the country. You don't see why there is an agenda to do that. It was to change the demographics in this country. If Harris had won in 2024, we would have fallen into complete and total communism.
Can you
100.
define communism, please?
We
No, dude. He got removed for civic and election integrity right as he literally says that Kamala Harris is a communist, bro. Are you serious?
Why do I support Donald Trump? Because he's masculine.
Okay.
That's why.
Okay. How's he masculine insofar as that?
You think Kamala could take on the world, dude?
Yeah. I think she would have done a better job than Trump.
You really think?
Yeah.
Think so?
Yeah.
The pressure that the president has every day, do you believe the average person can actually take that on?
I think they would do better than Trump.
You
I would take the average
You
person
think
over Trump.
Kamala can hold that pressure? See, we talk about politics and we talk about this and that, but we don't talk about when you get in that room, the pressure in that Oval Office that people have to take on when they give orders.
Why are
to
you
take
trying to
lives
act like men can
and
only
affect
take on
people
that?
in the world? No. I'm not saying, but we
That's
have
exactly
to
what
get
you were
real
saying.
here, buddy. We have to get real here, buddy. Okay? We could talk politics and all this shit about who should have ran what and what should have been ran. But with all these threats going on in the world, you think Kamala could have handled this pressure from Putin and all this shit going on?
Actually,
they would have
yes.
pushed over her.
Because Donald Trump just conceded to her position. He just
It's
conceded.
not only about politics.
He literally
and
just
what's-
said
and
that
who does
after he
good for the
finally
country.
understands it fully. He said that he didn't understand it fully prior, and now he does, and he now understands that he needs to take Kamala Harris's position on the matter. Did you know that? He said that on Truth Social. I can show you the tweet if you'd like to see it.
Kamala Harris on what matter?
Yeah, in terms of Ukraine. So he thinks that
In
it is the
terms
case
of
that we can
Ukraine?
win back all of Ukraine
Did
in
you
its
see him
original form.
embarrass that? Wait, hold on. First of all, the amount of people that came to see Trump and he had sat down and the attention he had, did you think Kamala had that power? You think they would have respected her? You think they would have came and
I think she'll
actually
get more respect, especially from our
listened
allies.
to that woman?
Yes, actually, public confidence amongst those different nations for what candidate would do the best for global affairs indicated that Kamala Harris had significantly higher confidence rating than Donald Trump. I can show you right now from Pew Research. All right, it was a
Higher
55%. 55%.
So you're doing all this. Okay, I know you like research and you like the internet shit, but like I'm trying to say, dude, Let's get
You mean facts
down
and
to
evidence?
common. Let's get down to common sense. I understand these numbers and all these, but a lot of this can get projected, and a lot of humans and the interactions that they take down. A lot of people aren't active in politics, so a lot of them numbers are really. Hey, son, stop! You're about to get off Roblox. Cut it
Oh
out.
my God.
A lot of these ratings and all this
are
that you're
they
looking
okay?
up, these demographics, are people who are there 60 and older, 50 and older, 40. It's not really projecting what the average person is doing. Most people aren't even in this shit, dude. Most people aren't even participating in voting. Most people aren't participating in this shit, even come up with these type of numbers. I understand it. Yes, that makes sense. But let's get on like real common sense terms. It takes a strong person to run a nation, right? Can we agree upon that? It's not for everybody. The decisions that they make in the office affect lives, right? Can we agree upon that?
Yeah, and I think that Kamala Harris had significantly higher confidence amongst different countries, especially those that are our allies, than Donald Trump. 55% confidence for her to do the right thing regarding world affairs versus 33 no confidence amongst 18 different countries on a median basis. And for Donald Trump, it was 34% confidence and 62% no confidence amongst the median.
So you're basically going off the numbers. See, I'm in the streets, okay? And people are talking. I'm talking about hood dudes running for Trump. You know how long the black people have been on the vote of the Democratic vote? It's black women in Chicago right now begging Trump to come clean up mess that the Democrats, not to come at the Democrats, but most of them just let this shit slide. It's a lot of criminal activity on the side that we're not going to really get into. But when you're in the streets, you get to see what's going on. It's a lot of violence. It's a lot of hate. It's a lot of going on that really needs to get touched. Okay.
It sounds like the crime that we're not like particularly holding to account is people like Donald Trump, who's a convicted criminal, held civilly liable of incited a violent insurrection at the Capitol, and pardoned those who have violently police officers on January 6th.
Yeah, I understand that.
Maybe
but
voting for him is actually going to be like not looking at and holding him accountable.
Okay.
Right, in terms of his
Every
crimes.
president has did something. We're not going to get perfect, brother. We're not going to get perfect.
I'm not asking you to be
Okay.
perfect. I'm saying Kamala Harris is better than Trump.
That's what you're looking for. That's what everybody's expecting. This imaginary world, this imaginary president that's not going to exist. The American people, we push filth. It's a common thing.
Hold up. So I would prefer perfection, but that doesn't mean I'm expecting perfection. I definitely don't expect perfection. There are plenty of things I disagree with Kamala Harris on, but I'm saying that Kamala Harris is a better candidate than Donald Trump.
You're saying a better candidate. I don't believe that. You know why I don't believe that?
Why?
Because it's not a natural. Just how my favorite streamer is like, I don't want to connect all that, but just how my favorite streamer is like Queso right now, and not like Kai Cenat and because he's naturally doing what he has to do to make action without having to bring other figures to represent them. The shit she brought Beyonce and Glorilla, you think that represents?
I'm sorry. Why did you just randomly talk about streamers, dude? That was so weird. She brought the
celebrities to dance and Jennifer Lopez, all that shit.
Dude, why are you randomly talking about
the black community?
What type of comparison does this have to the president?
But
I'm so confused.
It's the mindset. We can't have this buffoonery running the country.
Trump is the buffoonery.
Really? That's what you want to put in front of the black people? It's only 47 million of us in America, and you're going to put, instead of a doctor or something, let's get real. Go to the little black girl that's been working her ass off to get shit done in the community. Why put Glorilla in front? Why are y'all playing this game?
Hold up. Do you think that Kamala Harris is a good candidate? Because I think Kamala Harris is like one of the most qualified candidates in U.S. history.
No, brother.
If not the most qualified. So then give me a single qualification that she does not have that you think she should have.
Everything. She's not a real person. Her whole moral.
She's not a real person.
If we're going to judge people on what they did, let's judge what she does. She flip flops in relationship. This is her deep insight on her. She has things. She gives off. She gives off energies of leech energy. We want something for the people.
What did she do specifically?
Even though half of the shit we're going through right now, Kamala couldn't handle it. I guarantee it.
You're just saying that she couldn't handle
it.
The
people in the office, the men in the office, most of the people running the presidency, is white men, okay? We know that. That's a fact. Most of the people is white men. She can't handle that pressure.
Wait, so
She can't even handle pressure with her husband. She can't even keep a husband. You think she could keep the...
By the way, she literally does have a husband right now. Donald Trump is the one who can't keep a significant other because he's cheated on every single one of them. And Melania clearly doesn't like him. You can see all the time, right? Melania doesn't want to be around him, doesn't want her to even, doesn't want them to like hold hands or like be near each other at all. Like you can literally see it, right? Melania does not like Trump. So like, I don't know what you're talking about in terms of that. And if you want to talk about in terms of the country, you have yet to name a single like qualification that say Donald Trump would have that Kamala Harris does not have. That would mean that Donald Trump is, say, a more qualified candidate for president. Because I think that Kamala Harris is significantly more qualified than Donald Trump.
I know on the political level, you're saying how, you know, you believe Kamala was, you know, eligible for this. But why I like Trump is on a more grounded level. How he's able to shake hands with people that I'm from in the urban community, communicate, not be scared to grab figures like Kodak Black. He's playing a game that you guys won't understand until probably like 2 years from now. But if you study the way he's moving, it's genius. And he's actually in the mix with the people. He's in the mix.
You think Kamala Harris is not willing to like engage with people?
Would never walk with the people. Would never be involved.
Well, actually,
this much
if you read her book, she talks about how that's exactly what she's going to do, and that's exactly what she is doing.
She never did. The people hated her before she even before she had 107.
She had 107
like
days
her at all on a real basis.
Not true. She had higher public
It was
confidence.
just more of just like the vote was for Kamala was because Trump, he was a threat. People look at him as a threat. So it was more like, fuck it, we'd rather have her in here than Trump. That's what it really was about. That's what it was about. So she got close because of that. But, you know, why I like Trump is because he walks with the people, man. He's a people person.
He has more connections.
Ridiculous. Even though he does is wrong.
Can you name one policy that Donald Trump influenced to get passed that's beneficial to the average American?
One policy?
Yeah, one policy.
How many? He's been dropping so many policies.
Like, name one.
We can say the policy where he, we get our overtime. Is that real? We keep our overtime when we work overtime. Is that real?
No, it's just a deduction on overtime, which was also supported by Democrats. So that's not even one policy that.
Why wasn't it never done?
That's like well, it was something that they were advocating for. That's legislation.
So why is he doing everything they advocating for?
He's not the one doing it. It was Congress.
So we're not going nowhere with Trump. Is that what you're saying? That's what you're actually saying?
Yeah. What we're going more towards
That's what you actually believe?
I'll tell you. What we're going more towards is environmental catastrophe. What we're going more towards is oligopolies. What we're going more towards is corruption. What we're going more towards is like a worse overall system for the average person. Less taxes for rich people, more taxes for working class Americans. That's what we're moving closer towards. We're moving closer towards like authoritarianism on every single day.
Checked, we were already living in this reality.
Wait, yeah, you understand that?
Last time I checked, brother.
You understand we are living in authoritarianism, but we're moving even closer to authoritarianism.
America it's already been hard for people. If that was the case, it wouldn't be so many homeless people in Los Angeles. If you really get real and see what's going on,
one policy that Republicans
the drug epidemic that's going on. If we were really moving towards this great America, we wouldn't be in this position we are in now.
Hold up. Can you name one policy that Trump or Republicans have ever advocated for or passed to help homeless people?
There's nobody that ever really did that besides, we'll say, helping the foreign people in the foreign aid, which I don't take nothing from that because it's about development.
So
But
I can tell you things that benefit homeless people for people specifically for Democrats. Democrats are the ones that have advocated for housing programs to ensure that people have access to housing. They've advocated for increases to the child tax credit to a significantly greater extent. They've advocated specifically for jobs programs to ensure that people have adequate access to jobs programs in this country through infrastructure plans, the PACT Act, the Inflation Reduction Act. Right, a bunch of different policies that have been beneficial across the board, that have reduced the likelihood of homelessness for veterans, that have reduced the likelihood of homelessness for people who have families, who have reduced the likelihood of homelessness for people who particularly cannot afford rent, especially during the context of COVID.
The average person I know right now does not own a home, can barely feed their kids. Okay, all this abdication for what?
So you want to cut? You want Donald Trump's big beautiful bill that cut 420,000 children?
Why not shake the system
Let me please.
up?
Let me please
It's
finish.
been a loop.
Let me please finish. Let me please. You said that people right now do not have food. So you want to pass the big beautiful bill that cuts 420,000 children on average per month off of free school lunch and breakfast, 2.5 million people off their food stamps on average every month, and over 10 million people off their health insurance, and still adds $3.4 trillion to the debt. That's the policy that you want
Nobody's
passed.
saying that, but
You actually did. You know the deduction on overtime.
We're not happy about nothing. We're not excited. The average American doesn't want to get off their couch and do nothing. We have everything in the world, and you know what we complain about? We got everything, and we're depressed. The average American is walking around depressed, complaining about life. The little
You said we have everything, but then we can't afford food. What are you talking about? You are contradicting yourself in the current sentence you're engaging in. And then the overtime deduction that you were specifically mentioning in the context of the big beautiful bill is in the big beautiful bill. So if you like the overtime aspect of the bill, well, then that also comes with the 420,000 children every single month being cut off their free school lunch and breakfast, the 2.5 million people off their food stamps on average every month, and the over 10 million people off their health insurance. So you understand that it comes with other things as well.